put on my sharkskin jacket. Any guesses as to what that song is? 10 points to whoever can guess what that song is. Name that tune. All right, little impromptu road trip, solo road trip for TJ, and I want to lay down a track for you. It occurred before I left. Was in an email exchange with a possible Zoom rehab person, and a couple of the questions were wondering whether to start up with me or not. And I fully need people to do their research, watch my videos, do any background checks on me, do whatever digging you want to do, because you have to absolutely believe in, one, the approach you're going to take to health and healing, and two, that fucking practitioner had better goddamn believe in what they're doing. Otherwise, they're affecting you with their lack of beliefs, which is like 99.9999999% of all practitioners out there don't believe in the shit they sell. And that is going to affect you directly. Now, been proven by the bullshit science and everything else. So now, this person was wondering whether to start. Now, the full Zoom eval, it's a commitment, and I want you to. I don't want to have somebody on the opposite end of the phone that doesn't want to do this. I'm giving you everything I got for 2+ hours. You're going to get a plan. You're going to get this thing that is literally everything I have put into this for you. So it's a commitment. Fuck yeah, it's a commitment. You're going to burn all ships. That might not be the case for some people. They might still be on the fence trying to weigh out what they want to do or what they don't want to do, and I'm fully behind that. Do your research. So I do these information sessions, 30, 60, or 90 minutes, just to have a chat, Q&A, answer some questions, or some people who are discovering the book and they're getting stuck, or they want to see. One person reached out and wants to do a Zoom because they want to see how I've evolved from when I released the book, which I totally have. I've completely changed moves, sharpened moves, got rid of a lot of them, because I'm constantly evolving, as should everybody else. So something I released in 2018 isn't going to stand true to what it is now. And I'm still discovering. I discovered stuff today. So it's pretty cool what these people are doing. Anyway, this couple reached out and they were going to do a 30-minute info session and see if I was the right fit. Love it, because again, the best treatment for you is the one you believe in. And if you don't believe in it 130,000%, don't do it. And that goes for everything, even stuff that I might not believe in. If you believe in it, go in, because here's the deal. Something like chemotherapy, I may not agree with it to 100% of my being, 110% of my being. But if you believe in it, go all in. Burn all your ships, do everything that they say, so that when truth prevails, which it will, you can see, holy shit, that didn't work. Holy shit, that almost killed me. Oh my God, this entire model. Oh my God, the naturopath's model as well. You see what truth is. And you see with just this resounding capital T, when you go all into anything. It's not finding the right stuff, it's just being 100,000% true, going all in, and then you get to see for you, wow, wait, that doesn't make any sense, and that almost killed me, or that hurt me, or none of this makes sense. No, now you see what it's like to feel and live how Dr. Cassie and I live, how Vladi lives. So it's going all in is something you believe in. Now, this couple was going to do a 30-minute info session. And then one of the comments they made, they're like, we have the full MRI that shows exactly what's wrong, if you want to see that. And I think this is where I lost them, but I didn't lose them. I gave them truth as to what imaging is and what it does and the nonsense of it all. And I'll get into that. And that was a deciding factor. So the thing was, let me just go over this, like what imaging is. They wanted to send me the MRI of a back and show me exactly what's wrong. So I got into it and I said, I would never want to look at imaging. Nothing in that image would never tell me what I'm going to do with you or your husband or whoever we're working with. It doesn't show what's wrong. It shows what's the perfect response to damage in the body because of stuff global, systemic, lifestyle-wide. So again, looking at an image, herniated disc, medial protrusion, L5, medial disc stenosis, tells me dick. Literally tells me absolutely nothing about how I'm going to proceed moving forward. It helps those who do protocols. It helps those in those models where they have just this compartmentalized approach to, oh, here's all the L5 programs, here's all the disc protrusion programs, and it doesn't work that way because each person is different, and each person is different every single day. So you need a plan that's continually evolving and changing to fit that person, the infinite potential that is that person. So that's why these protocols don't work. And I'm not talking about you getting out of pain for a little while and you saying, oh my God, it worked. It didn't work, because 3 years or 3 months to a year to 3 years later, you're worse than you've ever been. It should be you getting better moving forward, not managing pain to kind of lay in the lull of the weeds to like not be noticed for a while. And then all of a sudden, poof, you just get shot by life and by the body, and then you're cursing the body and calling it aging. So again, me looking at an image and judging somebody's case, it'd be like me looking at a yearbook and going, yearbook picture, and literally looking at that person's picture and going, wow, that person is really successful, or that person is really at peace, or that person is really good, really solid in their relationships, or that person really has no attachment to material items, or that person is well nourished, or that person is weak, fatigued, and all over the place injured. That person doesn't get much sleep. That person is obsessed with things that aren't ideal with them. That person medicates with burritos. That person likes jogging, which is tearing them apart. That person thinks, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to make this broad judgment on a yearbook picture? Never, ever, ever would I do that. I'd sit down with the person in the yearbook picture and talk to them and find out, what is their story? What have they gone through? What is their life? What do they believe in? Where do they think injuries come from if you're staying in my world? How do you think injury happens? Because if you have a false story as to why you think injury occurs, then you're sure as shit not going to be in a good position to put yourself in a position to heal yourself. So if we don't change your whole concept of why injury occurs, and you don't fully buy into that, everything you do past that point isn't going to work. Isn't going to work in the long run. I'm not talking about managing pain for a short period of time. That is not a successful goal. That it doesn't get anybody other than the PTs and the naturopaths for PT and naturopath of the year. Why? Because a bunch of their people aren't in pain. Have anybody followed them? That's like saying the trainers in The Biggest Loser are the best trainers. They're freaking lunatics. Follow the people, The Biggest Loser. They're all fucking exploding and less healthy than if they never, ever entered that contest in the first place. And the perverted sense of what health is and fitness is. So again, me trying to look at an image, partial tear of the ligament, lateral, doesn't tell me what I'm going to do with that person. It doesn't even tell you the prognosis of how you're going to move forward. It makes no sense, because I've seen images that were perfect and the person's just this dilapidated mess. And then I've seen images that were grotesque and disgusting and the person was fully functional. Images mean dick in soft tissue orthopedics. And then you go over into Cassie's world, and I'll let her address this. She has a number of times. We have a number of times in the house calls. Labs and imaging, even in the internal medical world, the deep dives that she's doing with the big league labels that she has people reversing, everything. Labs and imaging mean nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean literally that, what's between my fingers right there. They mean absolutely nothing. But we've got this attachment with these pictures and what they find and what they show. All they're showing are healing responses to your life. They mean absolutely nothing. So you have to change just every inch of your life, not one specific category or protocol, or give a supplement protocol to change labs and all this other stuff. And I'm not going to get into that because it's not my world. But I can broadly scope over what I'm doing in soft tissue and apply it everywhere else. All the Lyme dickheads telling you that you have this bogus diagnosis called Lyme and then throwing you on a supplement list, which, oh, by the way, they get kickbacks on with the supplements. Stop. Imaging, absolutely nothing. So if anybody's thinking of starting with me, and you're thinking of sending me imaging, or you're wondering if you should get imaging, or you're wondering who, if you're with somebody that makes sense and they want to see your imaging, they probably don't really know what they're doing. It's a real easy sifter and litmus test to see if who you're with is actually knowledgeable of the body and how the body heals and what the concepts of the body are. the natural principles of what the body, how the body operates. You literally just ask them, do you do imaging, or do you take any imaging, or do you judge anything off of imaging? If they say yes, out. Problem solved. Find somebody else. All right, back to my drive. Good God, look at this. Look at this. Boom. Oh, and a quick addendum to the last video, to the first part of this video, actually, because I'm going to attach it. For those of you who are like, well, what about massive fractures and all this other shit? Depends what you believe, again. But there are stories of Aborigines moving bones back into alignment with energy and muscular contractions. Repeatable in other cultures besides our dipshit culture. And as far as like, well, what I need to know how much damage to the ligament. No, you don't. You need to know the function of your body that allowed damage there in the first place. And if you change all the function of your body to a level higher than what it was, you'll be functioning at a level greater than if you ever had a ligament intact. There's people doing some amazing, crazy feats with no ligaments. And I mean throwing baseballs, playing in high-level football. Pick sports because it's just something that everybody knows. This is common. Imagine if you had somebody that or a group of people, or TV, or your world just constantly said that to you. You can. It's completely up to you. So there are many people who are doing it. Back to those of you who are like, imaging you need for, there's no scenario where you're going to get this, where it's necessary. It's absolutely unnecessary. Boom.